should be it, Rob. Hold it.
Affirmative. I'll get back to work.
Hey, Fox! Isn't this music getting on your nerves? I'm trying to work on my maps.
Okay, old-timer. Turn it down, Slippy. Hey! Slippy, it's General Pepper.
General Pepper here! I have a new mission for you, Fox. You are approaching Dinosaur Planet, an ancient world on the edge of the Lilat system. As you will see, chunks of the planet have been torn from its surface. It's your job to get them back. If Dinosaur Planet explodes, it could affect the entire Lilat system. The only lead we have is that you must locate the Queen of the Earthwalker dinosaur tribe. Maybe she can help you further. Either way, your fee has been approved. If you are successful, then the money will be forwarded to you immediately. Pepper out!
You heard the General. Let's do it.
And Crystal has officially served her purpose. Yep, that's about all she's gonna do for the rest of this game now, is being trapped in a crystal, ironically. But now the gameplay is now shifted over to Fox McCloud, the leader of the Starfox team, and I'm pretty sure this was gonna be the guy that everyone was expecting to play as when they first booted up this game. And so, with now our focus now gonna be going on to Fox, we'll have to make our way to Dinosaur Planet in a very familiar fashion that most, if not all, Star Fox fans should be able to recognize.
General Pepper here. Your mission takes place on ThornTail Hollow. Locate the Queen of the Earthwalker tribe. She will help you further. Pepper out. Fly through one gold ring to reach Dinosaur Planet.
And here we go with the section I'm pretty sure a lot of people were expecting to play as when this game first came out, the on-rail R-Wing segment. Controls are pretty simple here, just use A to shoot, you can press A repeatedly to keep firing, press B to fire off a bomb when you collect one. You can either wait for it to detonate normally, or you can detonate yourself by hitting B again after firing one, which I will demonstrate momentarily. Yes, got that one, nice. So here's how you do the bomb thing. I was able to detonate that manually by hitting B again after firing it. Y boosts, X brakes, and L and R does your barrel roll. But you only have to hit the button once as opposed to twice like in the last game, or probably the last two games actually, to use that barrel roll. It's a little more fancy or a little more useful to do that, but I'm pretty sure it's a lot more off-putting for people who played the last two games. I'll admit I'm not the best when it comes to using the bombs in this game for some reason. My timing is not the best, but that didn't really matter. I was able to do well enough to get to the next part of the game, which is now heading to Dinosaur Planet, and my score didn't do really good. I'll be honest, I wasn't paying attention that much, but I could do those segments in my sleep. Those on-road shooter portions won't be that much trouble for me to go through.
Great flying, Fox! For a moment, I thought you weren't gonna make it.
Very funny, sir.
I know. Now, on to business. By pressing the start button, you will open your communicator. Choose who you wish to speak to, and then press the A button to contact one of us. Each team member will give you different information. It's not being tested in action, so give it a try as soon as I've finished. And don't forget, you're looking for the Queen Earthwalker. Try talking to those Thorntail guys. Slippy is preparing a translator device, but until it's ready, he'll translate for you.
Okay, General. But what about a weapon? Why couldn't I bring my blaster?
It's always the same with you, Fox. Shoot first, ask questions later. This mission is about saving the planet, not blowing it up. It requires a different tactic. Try using your head.
Yeah, very funny, sir. Fox out.
Very funny indeed. I never pictured Pepper to be like the snarky type towards Fox. And I never expected Fox to be like the kind of guy who would be going headfirst into action and then pondering about his actions later. He's one of the more level-headed people when it comes to Nintendo's characters, in my opinion. So it's kind of weird to see that Rare portrayed him as this kind of a action rushy guy. You know the type of heroes, the kind who would just rush in head first without little to no strategy beforehand. That's the kind of hero that Fox be portrayed here, and it's really weird considering how he's portrayed later on in the Starfox series. Let's see, great source of energy. This guy's just talking about more about the double deck pods that we learned about back in Krazoa Palace. So, if you couldn't tell by now, this game plays a lot like a Legend of Zelda game. I mean, the HUD and the control scheme and the gameplay is pretty similar to how a typical Zelda game would play out. But one little thing that you can't do is roll in the trees. Because I tried doing that to knock down the double deck pod from this tree, but for some reason you can't do it. So it isn't completely like a Zelda game in that regard, but still, you think you'll be able to do that considering how much you played so far, and if you play a Zelda game beforehand, then you might be thinking you could do that, but no, that's not going to work out here. Such this other Thorntail because Nightfall's here, so I'm pretty sure the rest of the Thorntails are going to be asleep by now. To the side of me, you'll see a circle of rocks. If you are very strong, you can try to lift them. Once a rock has been lifted high enough, watch carefully at what happens next. So we can activate the prompt by going near a rock, but we won't be able to lift it up by our bare hands. We have to find another way to do so. But you can see which rocks you can lift up by the green moss substance that's on the side of a rock. If you find a rock with that particular indicator, I guess we could call it, then that's a sign that you'll be able to lift up a rock. And I will ignore General Pepper's advice and actually show the pause features a little bit. So there's save and quit. This pretty much self-explanatory. The save feature or the save icon was going to be in the form of Rob, but for some reason they end up using a typical memory card icon as the icon for the save feature in the final game. If you ask me, Rob got kind of shafted in that regard because that guy helps out a lot. I mean, just look at the last game and how many times he helps your butt out by showing supplies. Pepper shows the stat screen, which shows off your typical stat total stuff, like what these other things are, your playtime. It's just typical number stuff that you find in the stat screen. But it also carries over the Krazoa spirit that we got as Crystal, so we'll be able to keep that, so that's good to know, unbeknownst to Fox. You can also use the C-stick to flip the screen around and find some other stuff, but we won't be able to come across that until a little later on. That's all Pepper's show. And Peppy shows the world map. This will show you the different places and locales you'll find on Dinosaur Planet, and it'll show you a little bit of information if you pick a revealed location, like ThornTail Hollow. Home to the mighty Thorntail dinosaurs and the mighty Warpstone. This hollow is a safe place to stock up on supplies via the shopkeeper's store. That's something we'll visit a little later on as well. We just got here, so we gotta get our bearings first. And Slippy, for veterans of this game, is the most useless. He only offers advice, which would be helpful to a new player or beginners of this game, or people who just don't know where to go if they haven't played this game in a while. But for veterans who know the way to go in this game pretty well. You're not gonna rely on Slippy that much.
That helps you, Fox. Slippy out.
No, it doesn't, Slippy, because I know where to go next, but thanks for trying, man. At least you were a lot more helpful the last game. I mean, you could display the boss meter, but no such thing happens this time around since you're stuck back in the Great Fox, and I'm the one doing all the field work. So we go across this bed of flowers. We'll find something that we saw for a few split seconds when we were playing as Crystal.
Ab oe uho hosela kiaj mujuvo, kiot a adwok tudwo. Keokyo oe kutsek at oe kuts, aj fenovik nufed. Oe mishkut ke ijo aj najoko. Mojekov niad ijo aj at smuk. Ut ad kikeno oe baksh mufofen. Kuho tabohodus kai, ke itkon ak fenovik kusbe. Oe sut uksha ijo akeo feko nekt wit oe. Ko kavkad hezb ides baj akomj ik ev kuj. Kobo suro mojeko. Ut adat nav kobo suro efoe.
Alright, I'm pretty sure Fox feels a lot more comfortable now. We finally have a weapon, Crystal's staff, that she lost when she was riding that Cloud Runner. And we're gonna put this thing to use right now. This brings us to the combat portion of Starfox Adventures, which is really simple to use. Just smash A. This will deal with most baddies very simply. You can also use the combat roll, which is linked to X. Just doing this by default will roll you to the side on its own. You can also hold the control stick back and hit X to do a backflip like that. Or, if you're able to stun an enemy, I'll take this guy out first. You can do a forward roll, and this will be kind of useful if you're able to use this on a stun enemy. You can hit A a couple more times to do that fancy combination to follow up. It's really good, and it does damage the opponent a little more if you're able to get it at the right timing. But if you do it willy-nilly like so, or find an opening like that, that doesn't happen all that often. Usually when I use the forward roll against an enemy that's not stunned, they will be able to guard against it. But the fact I'm able to do that against this guy really like that, I guess there'd be a little more kind in the opening combat segment of this game. Alright then, whatever. You can also flip the control stick around to manipulate Fox's movements. But again, just smash A. This will deal with most baddies very handedly. And as reward for winning our first fight in the game, Crystal was somehow able to open that door for us. I'm pretty sure Fox doesn't care about where he was hearing that voice or who that floating head was if he did end up seeing that somehow. I'm pretty sure all he cares about right now is that he finally has a weapon to defend himself with. So if your controller ends up rubbling or if you see your staff glowing, this will take you to a very special location. We tipped over that little rock, and that'll bring us down to this shrine of sorts. And in the center of this little room, we'll get something that'll be very useful to our staff. And it's going to be something that Fox will be very happy to have. I'm pretty sure about that. Ta-da! It's our first staff upgrade, the Fire Blaster. With power from the energy crystals, it can be used for many tasks. Use the C-stick to activate the menu and highlight the upgrade, then press A to use it. If you need to use it quickly, assign it to Y for instant access. So again, more parallels being drawn to a typical Zelda game, but instead of like multiple it's the access buttons. We only have just the one to work with in this game, so that's a little bit of a difference about that. This is a staff energy gem. These come in many different values and are used to power up the staff upgrades. Once chopped down, walk over to them to pick them up. Baddies will also drop these if you end up finding a sharp claw. We didn't find one back in the first pack we did find, but those do spawn from defeating sharp claw soldiers if you are lucky enough to find one. And we can see that they come in different colors as well. Depending on what color you get an energy gem from, or what kind of energy gem you collect, that'll determine how much magic you get back for your magic meter. That won't be as effective right now because our meter is pretty small as it is, so it's not going to be yet useful right now. But that will be useful later on if we ever get the chance to upgrade our magic meter. I mean, if this is playing out like a typical Zelda game, then sooner or later we should be able to extend that meter a little bit. Get away from me, you stupid bloops! Oh man, I swear I get worse and worse over the years trying to beat these things. I usually don't take that much damage from those bloop enemies. And thus, that is what they're called. They're called bloops. I thought they went by a different name for the longest time. I even thought they were harpies at one point because of their laugh. And for some reason, I maybe thought that that's what they were, but no. They're just called bloops, or screeches, depending on what tickles your fancy. So use the fire blaster to hit that big red button. You can finally see what's on the other side of this door.
Is anybody there? Are you okay? My name is Fox McCloud, and you must be the Queen Earthwalker.
No lurud no kadu, ve uwe, moje, Prince Tricky keog root suf kehot rokio sharp claws, ut kubot ki ice mountain.
Did you get that, Slippy?
You've got to go to the Ice Mountain and rescue her son, the Prince Tricky.
Nice name. Okay, lady, I'll bring your son back to you. Can you give me some directions?
Oe mish weki keo wobstone, kutso kutsuj wuk feno, ut sujod oe keo.
You've got to talk to that big stone guy. She called him a warp stone.
That's all I need to know. I'll be back soon, Queen. Don't you worry. Haven't you finished that translator yet?
It's nearly ready, Fox. I just need a bit more time. Slip me out.
Man, I bet Fox wishes that translator gets fixed sooner much rather later. He's getting really annoyed by what's going on right now. So we go behind the Queen Earthwalker, we'll get yet another collectible that we'll have to look out for on our travels. This is a fuel cell. It is used to power the R-Wing. Rob had a few problems getting them down to the planet, so this must mean that they have been scattered around everywhere. You will need them to be able to fly to the floating worlds in orbit above the planet. You're going to need a specific amount to travel to each location that's broken off from Dinosaur Planet, but coming across these fuel cells, that isn't that difficult. Most of them will be out in the wild for you to easily collect or on the beaten path, so chances are you should be able to come across more than enough you need to carry yourself through the game. Like those fuel cells up there, those will easily be able to obtain. And not only that, but if we use our map in the bottom right corner, or bottom left corner rather, there is a map data that we can get, but we'll go over that in the next episode because it's going long enough as it is. But if you use the D-pad, you can cycle between different functions. This is the fuel cell compass. This will show you which fuel cells are in the area, or if there are any close to you in the area, and it'll point you in a specific direction on where they're located at. It's not completely trustworthy, as we can see the fuel cells are actually above us, but it will point you in the direction where the fuel cells will be at, more or less. So it is kind of useful to use if you don't know where to find a fuel cell and you need to pick them up quickly in order to fly with your R-Wing. The other feature is the information scanner. This will show you a little more information about like certain creatures, objects, things that you can get close to in the area, that sort of stuff. It doesn't provide you with that much info, but it's a little thing that you can use if you want to get a little more detail or a little more lore to be invested in this world. And that is going to be all we'll cover for today, as Fox has taken a very huge beating in his early time on Dinosaur Planet, playing those damn bloops. I'll do my best to get better and try to deal with them over time, but I can't promise anything. Like I said, I've gotten worse with dealing with them over the years. Next time, we're gonna hang around ThornTail Hollow a little bit more. I know that doesn't seem like the best thing that we can do right now, but believe it or not, there's a lot of things we can collect in ThornTail Hollow right now if we do a little looking around. Not to mention that there's this Thorntail store that we have to keep an eye out that we saw in the bio, so I want to visit that too at some point as well, since that will also contain a lot of stuff that we can get for the travels ahead. I am really excited to play this game. I know it gets overlooked because it's not your average Starfox game, but I want to do my best to show you that there is some legitimate fun you can get out of this game, and it shouldn't be as overlooked because it doesn't follow the typical Starfox formula. I am looking forward to what we'll be going through. Until we meet again, farewell for now.